Hey, what's up, family? Welcome to the Black by the Man radio show. I will be your host, Brother Mike, along with my partners in consciousness, the lovely Miss Janice. How you doing today, Miss Janice?
Very, very good.
It is good to see you again, young lady.
It's good to see you.
Nice. And also my main man, 50 grand, Mr. Derek Woodson. How you doing today, Derek?
Man, I'm good.
Everything good?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate y'all coming and hanging out with us today so we can bring forth another exciting episode of the Black by the Man radio show. Today's episode is sponsored by A1 Accounting. Let A1 Accounting take care of all your tax needs and your financial planning. Call John Telepis at 443-502-8595. That's A1 Accounting with John Telepis at 443-502-8595. Now, we all know that we're still in January. It's tax season. So right about now, you're going to need a good tax accountant, especially if you're a business owner, because you're going to need someone who can do business taxes. I happen to know Mr. John Telepis personally myself. He's a great accountant. He does personal taxes, business taxes, financial planning, estate planning, anything that deals with the realm of a certified public accountant. And, you know, it's a little stereotype attached with accountants, you know. So the stereotype is that the best accountants are supposedly Jewish accountants.
Is it?
Yeah, about to save a dollar.
I'm here to tell you that he's Jewish, so that's a good thing, right? So if you're looking for a great accountant, make sure you check out A1 Accounting. Call John Telepis at 443-502-8595. All right, so we are back again for another exciting episode of the Black by the Man radio show.
Yes, yes.
So before I get into the show, how's 2020 been so far for you guys?
2020 has been great.
It's been great?
Yes.
2020 looks great on you. You look good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you look good. Yogi, you look good too, brother.
I'm
sorry, Derek. I keep calling him his nickname. I'm sorry.
It's fine, but Derek works as well.
Derek works as well, right? All right, I got you, brother. So, yeah. How's everybody been, man?
Real good.
I mean, I know it hasn't been that long, but I feel like I haven't seen y'all in a little bit. And it ain't been long at all.
It's been long.
Maybe I missed y'all.
That's probably it.
That's what it is. Let's go with that. All right, so today's show, we're going to talk about redirecting thoughts, actions, and focus. It's still January, so of course, January, we like to always still try to do shows that motivate people.
Yes.
Keep them pumped up, you know, for the new year. So we thought redirecting would be a good one where we can talk about, you know, thoughts, actions, and focus. When y'all hear the word redirecting, does anything come to mind? Like, what does that mean to you, or do you know exactly what it means? What's it make you think of?
When I hear the word, it just makes me think of change.
Okay.
Like you're looking to change something.
Okay. All right.
Maybe that haven't been working for you in the past.
That's a good guess. It's a good guess. Brother Woodson.
I definitely agree with that. You know, we have direction, you basically redirect where you put your energy into.
Absolutely. Redirecting simply means to change direction. Direct something to a new or different place or purpose. So you're trying to redirect. So I figured this would be great for January because this is the time of the year, I think, when most people try to start redirecting.
Absolutely.
You know, whether it's New Year's resolution or goals you want to make, it could deal with health, it could deal with spirituality, it could deal with working harder on your business, your personal life, you know. So either way, we do some type of cognitive shift. And let me read what that is. Cognitive shifting is the mental process of consciously redirecting one's attention from one action to another. In contrast, if this process happened unconsciously, then it is referred to as task switching, but both are forms of cognitive flexibility. So today's new word is cognitive shifting. So that's what we all do, whether we know it or not. So we want to give you a couple of things to focus on that will help you redirect. And the biggest areas from our research is going to be thoughts, action, and focus. So let's kick it off with thoughts. Just right off the back, how do we redirect our thoughts? You know, any suggestions on how someone could redirect their thoughts?
Their thoughts. Well, for me, personally, when I went to redirect my thoughts, I think the first thing I started to do was just to learn some different things.
Okay.
Whether that pertain to reading more.
Right.
Or just, I don't know, doing some research on things that I may have wanted to know more about.
Okay, that is definitely a way to redirect your thoughts. Brother Derek, anything come to mind when you think about redirecting your thoughts, making your thoughts change direction?
I hope this applies, but like as far as my approach, my approach to certain things, I want to redirect it because a lot of us go off impulse.
True.
And something might happen. Instead of us thinking about it, we jump off the gun and just do something that will basically make us to come out to be the fool.
Okay.
Instead of, so what I'm going to do now is try to think before I move.
Got you.
And I would have to say that definitely would apply. That's actually good.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think any answer we give that deals with producing different thoughts,
Yes,
it's probably doable.
yes.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? It's probably doable. So I do have a couple suggestions here on how you can go about redirecting your thoughts. So the first one up to the plate is meditation. Develop an understanding of what we feed our minds. Now, we've talked about meditation on other shows before, right? But I'm hoping that our audience is catching on that the reason why we repeat certain pieces of information is because information is absorbed when it's given to you repetitively.
Absolutely.
This is why if you go through elementary school, grade school, and high school, there's a certain amount of subjects that stay the same. You're always going to do math and English and science and social studies, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So it's a reason for that repetitiveness. So meditation, and that may be one of the most powerful ways.
I was about to say, I'm starting to feel like meditation is a big deal.
I think it is.
That comes up in a lot
It
of
does.
our topics,
So
meditation.
so at a minimum, we want to be able to get better at this because we damn sure don't keep talking about it.
As we should. Right,
As we should. As we should. So meditation, since the last time we discussed it, have you guys tried any meditation?
Yeah, I'm going to go out and say no.
Okay. All right. That's fair. How about you, Derek?
Man, that's like a hard pill to swallow when your mind's running 100 miles and running.
Right.
So you would try to relax your mind, but when you have no red lights and no stop signs, it's kind of hard to do.
It can be difficult. I tried as recently as probably about 2 weeks ago. I just went in my bedroom. It was daytime. I made sure all the lights was off, TV was off. I actually sat on the bed. I'm not capable of getting my legs Indian style. I'm just not that flexible. So I just sat on the bed, right? I got in 8 minutes. I did 8 minutes. Yeah, I did 8 minutes. Yeah, that's pretty good for me. My record is 13.
Wow.
But I tend to average probably around 5. I'm thinking.
Nice.
Yeah, so I did 8 minutes, and I felt myself starting to zone off. And I try to do, because here's the thing, what I learned with meditation is you want to do something that's going to calm your mind down, and it's not that easy if you're not doing some type of affirmation.
Yes.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? So rather you are repeating something that deals with your faith, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or I like to do the I am affirmations. I think we talked about them before.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, so it's whatever it's I am, and then whatever positivity you want to attach to it. So I'll sit and say I am rich, I am peace, I am patience, I am persistent, I am healthy. So these are the things that I was saying to myself to help calm my mind down, because if I try to just go with the quietness, too many things start entering.
Yes.
Yeah,
Too
definitely.
many things start entering.
So I agree with that, because when you do that, you open your mind up for to, like, again, what I say, to relax. Like, again, my mind's 100 miles and running. So as I sit there in that particular, say, position, because I ain't doing my legs Indian style.
Yeah, I can't do the Indian style yet.
And as you went 8 minutes, for me, that's a record, because I go a minute, but I done thought about everything I'm going to do today and to next Friday.
It can be difficult.
So it's like, I need, like, maybe we can figure out something, we can find a solution. Like the I am, for some people, they would say, I am better, or I am this, but before you know it, me, personally, before I am about to fall asleep.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's about it. I got nothing left.
I'm with you on that, brother. Lord knows I fell asleep like several times meditating. You know what I
Right.
mean?
All I can say is I am still working on it. Like,
That's
I'm
right.
still
That's
working
right.
on it. I'm going to continue to work on it,
Right.
but I just haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah,
like,
I'm definitely not a master.
Every time I try to meditate, it's still, I don't know. I start coming up with things in my mind that, I feel like I need to do.
Yeah, it's got to be a way to calm it.
Well, maybe this idea, to the viewers out there, if you have some sort of remedy for us to get and use, for us to actually meditate. That'd be helpful.
If they got suggestions, make sure you write it in the comments.
Absolutely.
You got suggestions on meditating. I know of the positive affirmations. You can actually go on YouTube, and there are videos that play soothing music that's within certain megahertz. Are you guys familiar with the difference in the megahertz with music?
Not me,
see
but
you know what I'm talking about?
soothing music is good.
Yeah,
it's
so,
like
go ahead.
strings, and like sometimes you might have the ocean, sometimes you might have like a soft breeze or something like something to calm the mind. But again, the soft breeze, I'm asleep.
Yeah, it will put you to sleep. It all deals with megahertz. Now, I'm not an expert on it, so don't quote me on the numbers, but the way it works is like certain music is played in certain megahertz. Okay, so like I think it is, I want to say 450 and like below taps into the side of your brain that deals with relaxation.
Oh, wow.
And, like patience and calmness, right? And then like 480 and up, like does the exact opposite. Like it taps into like the rage side and frustration side, so forth and so on. So you're talking about the difference between classical music and then DMX.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely get that.
So the music could actually control how you actually feeling. And they discovered that Beethoven's music, his classical music, is written in like the megahertz, which is what makes everybody feel this nostalgia when they're listening to it. It's they always thought it was just the way it was composed, but come to find out, it deals with the megahertz on how it's being listened to, in your ears, and of course, certain higher megahertz produces other things. I've never heard of anyone like being angry listening to classical music.
Absolutely
like
not.
That's just not what you're gonna listen to.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you're pissed off. So they actually go to the distance with this, where certain people who have studied this information will actually play classical music for their child while she's still pregnant with the child.
Okay.
And then also when the child is born, they'll put headphones on with classical music because it's supposed to help the brain develop and, all this other good stuff. And again, I'm not an expert. I just got kind of read up on this stuff. So, so the music is very powerful. So with the meditation music, if you look them up, and I can tell you a particular guy that I follow, I forgot his name offhand, but he tells you the megahertz of the music.
Okay.
You know what I mean? On the thumbnail of the video. So it'll say this is, at 475, and it'll tell you why, you know what I mean? 475 will guarantee blah, 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 So it's interesting, but it does help because you can use music that has affirmations or no affirmations, where you just want to hear the music. What do you guys think like the main purpose of meditation is? Like how could meditation help you redirect your thoughts?
That's a good question.
Okay. Any clue, Mr. Woodson?
Basically what it can do is calm the nerves, because most of us that we are out here in society, we're just angry for no reason, upset about the most smallest things. So the meditation part can relieve a lot of that anger, that negativity, and give you a sense of directions.
Right.
So you basically redirecting your thoughts to get a sense of direction.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I get what you're trying to say, because meditation deals with the biggest problem that you speaking on, and you too, which is the speed of your mind. You know, not being able to control your mind, because our minds are constantly being bombarded with outside distractions.
Absolutely.
Like we have a lot of stuff being placed into our head through your life, through television, through social media, through the people you interact with. So we're really not as in control of our mental as we think.
Wow.
It's being heavily influenced.
That's a good way of looking at it. I never looked at it that way.
Yeah, it's being heavily influenced. So the purpose of meditation is to slow the mind down.
Okay.
Right? So if you can slow your mind down, you are gaining control, right? And then you start to pick and choose what you want to put in. But the only way you can do that is to first slow it down. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's why with the positive affirmations, the music is being used to calm you and slow you down. And then the affirmations is what you're putting into it. So you hear the recording saying, I am peaceful, I am rich, I am abundance. You get what I mean?
Yes.
So if you can meditate and slow your mind down, you gain control over your life. Now, again, I can talk it a lot better than I can do it, but I have researched it. You familiar with the Buddhist monks and the stuff that they do through meditation?
Yes.
It's mind-blowing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Any examples of what you might have seen a Buddhist monk do?
I'm not familiar with it.
Not familiar?
No.
All right, so go ahead. You know.
Like I said before, I read up on it, and basically what they said, a Buddhist mind is more clear than a monk's, a priest, and a nun.
Yeah, and it's all through meditation.
Right.
It's all through meditation.
And they basically they give you what is the word? Well, basically we say a chant, and either you can say Buddha 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, or whatever you may have you, to basically when you're in that state to keep yourself, like you said, I am, but they use the word Buddha to keep them calm and
because that's what they believe in.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they're controlling what they're putting into their mind. Some of these monks, Buddhist monks, regular monks, like they can control themselves so much through meditation. They can put themselves in a meditative state that lowers their heart rate so low that they are determined by the medical community as clinically dead. And they're sitting up under like a water fountain out in like the mountains in snow. And the water's like 13 degrees. And they're sitting in it naked with just a towel around their waist. And the water's just pouring over them. And they've been sitting there for 3 days.
And that's considered meditation, huh?
Yeah.
That sounds like
they
something
do some tricky
else.
stuff too, man. Like from the punching stones, and
that's what I was gonna say next. Yep.
Their skin is tough. It's like they basically control the whole body with their minds.
Yes.
Wow.
And to the point where it's like supernatural.
It's supernatural because they call it chi. But what it is the energy in the body. They call it chi. So through meditation, they can control the chi in their body so much, the energy, where they can focus it all to one area. So they'll focus all the energy in their body to their neck. And then the other monks will take a sword and be trying to push it through their neck, and it won't go through, or their stomach, you understand what I mean? And it won't go through because their meditation practices are that deep and they have that much control. Now, I don't think any of us are trying to reach that level.
Listen, they start from children, they start from young ages to the point where, but see, they also don't have the distractions that we have.
True.
They're basically located
they live
in
a
a
much humble life.
Exactly, and it's a beautiful thing if you can do it.
Oh, it is.
I just want 10% of it.
Yeah,
I don't want all of it.
Like I can imagine a lifestyle where you don't have the pressures of this society, because we got to remember, with us in particular, being people that come up out of Africa, like this is not the lifestyle that our ancestors lived. They didn't live a lifestyle of having to have good credit and go to school to get a job and have a degree and try to take a little vacation here and there. Pay your bills, your mortgage, your rent, your car note, the insurance.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have created a society that is stressful. You know what I mean? It's very stressful, and then if you don't do these things, they look at you and say, that person's not successful.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
Right.
It's crazy. So I could definitely admire a lifestyle where you're not doing all that.
Right.
I definitely can too. And like I said, I would love to get more into meditating.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff out there. I can turn you on to some good pages on YouTube where, some people go over it. Because, again, I'm not an expert. I just know a few things, right?
Well, I need a favor. Find the one that meditates so that I can stay up.
Okay, I got you, brother.
We can go from there.
I got you. Look, speaking of which, I'll take you a step deeper with that. They got meditation videos that you listen to while you sleep. So while you sleep, it's the music being played that's in the proper megahertz, and then it's somebody else saying, I am abundance. I am rich.
I'm a little nervous about that.
I am peaceful. Well, the way I see it is, as long as it's something positive, you should be all right.
Should be good.
Yeah, you should be good. You should be good. Because you'll wake up, your subconscious is still hearing that.
Right.
Yes.
And that's the whole trick of getting your subconscious to hear it and understand it. You get what I mean?
Absolutely.
As a matter of fact, I forgot to bring the book. I had a book for everybody today I was going to suggest.
Okay.
But I tell you what, I'm going to tell you about it anyway. Great book to check out if you want to get into redirecting your thoughts, actions, and focus is Think and Grow Rich. By Napoleon Hill. I'm sorry I don't have the book to show you guys. I forgot to bring it.
Okay.
But what I'll do is I'll put a link in the description that you can click on so you can get the book. So the book is called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and it deals with controlling your mind.
Okay.
It'd be a good way to start redirecting yourself. So I'll make sure I put that link in the description. All right. So so meditation is a good way to start with redirecting your thoughts.
Okay.
You know, 'cause we can sit here and talk about meditation for a while.
Yeah,
We can.
Especially being that we're novice. You know what I mean?
We can.
We learn it. All right, so another good way to redirect your thoughts is to engage in different conversations.
Definitely.
How powerful is that? Different conversations.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yes.
So you got to get around different people to do that.
Definitely.
Right?
But again, devil's advocate. You know, most of us, we have changed our people, places, and things, but the people that we left behind tend to somehow snag us back up.
Yeah, they will. They will. A lot of times, I don't think we quite recognize how damaging the people in your circle can be.
Absolutely.
You get what I mean? Like the people in your circle can either be damaging you or helping you.
Right.
Yeah, especially in a just a day-to-day conversation can be. It could start very intellectual. It can start where it's understanding and it makes sense. But then the other party, who's a negative Nancy, as we call them, will tend to spin it into a way, especially when they don't have the knowledge to have that conversation. They make it negative and make it the conversation very unhealthy.
Right.
So you don't know what to do, and then you realize once the conversation goes left, you realize why you stopped dealing with that person.
Right. Like for me, I've had conversations with people that I regretted afterwards.
Absolutely.
Like afterwards, I'm like, you know what? I shouldn't even been talking about that.
Right.
Because that's not how they think or that's not what they're familiar with. And so they kind of go into their turtle shell.
Yeah, so maybe you don't. So that right there should basically be a reminder. But again, we're human beings. We have our issues. No one's perfect. No one's saying that we are perfect in here.
Right.
How we have is, at the end of the day, we are all people of errors.
Yes.
Like I don't make mistakes because if I choose to do something, I did it.
Right.
Now the outcome, I can say I made an error in my judgment. But if I slander your character, I meant to say that. Now,
At least at that moment.
right, and then when you come to correct me for my action, now I want to tell you, get a free pass. Say I made a mistake.
Right.
Nah, I don't believe that. It's error in my judgment. I got to take accountability for that.
Yes.
And you know what? That's a good point because if you are around people constantly who don't take accountability, it's going to lower the chances of you taking accountability versus if you're around people who do take accountability when they have an error, like you were saying.
Right.
You know, it may make you feel like, yeah, you know what? He manned up when he messed up. I need to man up this time.
You know, respect is everything. So
Yeah.
you are from the people from, what is the word? I'm trying to make sure I say it right.
Uh-oh, here we go. Six man theory. Go and get it in, brother. I know what you're about to say.
I think I'm trying to say it right. You are the people from where you from amongst, meaning you are the people that if you hang around negative people, you're going to be a negative person.
Right. That's
If
six man theory.
Yeah, if you steal, you know.
You steal.
Exactly. So
Six man theory is if you hang around 5 rich people, you will be the 6th.
absolutely.
If you hang around 5 broke people, you will be the 6th. If you hang around 5 drug addicts, you will be the 6th. If you hang around 5 people that gossip, you will be the 6th. So your circle is so much more important than what you think.
Right.
Now, how do we get ourselves around other people to engage in different conversations, especially when your circle doesn't appreciate when you want to go around these other people?
Right.
Sometimes you just gotta walk the ship alone, man. Sometimes you gotta figure it out. You gotta say, well, look, I'd rather, separate myself from the mass in order to gain success. So if that takes being alone for 2, 3, 4 months, then so be it. Because at the end of the day, when you come out of 2, 3, 4 months hiatus, if I'm saying that correctly, you'll be fine.
You will definitely be fine. I find a lot of people that don't have the strength to do that, though. Like,
I didn't at one time.
Right. The impact of how your circle is going to view you, whether they slander you or just say, we don't fool with that person no more, or whatever. Sometimes that can be so heavy on people's minds, they get frozen. They won't do it. They're like, I want to do it, but man, I just know they ain't going to support me. And that's terrible.
Yeah. And if you think about it, there's always somebody in your life that's been a positive person or a positive role model from the beginning.
Right.
It's just that a lot of people just didn't want to be around that person because they wasn't.
Oh, he's weird.
So
He's
exactly.
weird.
Yeah.
No, because she don't want to get drunk and high. She's
Right.
weird.
Every
You're the
weekend.
weird one.
Every weekend.
No, you're the weird one.
Yeah, every weekend, right?
Right.
It's a saying, because someone put that on Facebook several times. Let me get it right. Oh, it says, why is it that you can always find 5 friends or more to go out with and have a good time, but you can never find 5 friends to build a business with?
I think I seen that.
You seen that too, right?
I seen that.
Big up to Facebook.
Yeah, they got a bunch of good quotes out there.
There's some good quotes out there because that makes sense,
Right.
You know, like,
Very
hey,
true.
you can always find people to go out and party. Tell them you want to start a business,
Yeah, then the sad thing about it, you might go out to that party, like, man, look, I got a great idea.
Right.
You know what I mean? I want to start this on, but man, get that drink and shut your mouth.
I'm trying to tell you.
Hey, man, here's a shot. You've been running your mouth since you got here.
You know what I mean? And
what I
and
mean?
it goes to show that you can still be in an environment that you want, whether you at the bar or whatever,
Right.
and still have constructive conversations.
Yes.
You get what I mean? Like, just because we at the bar doesn't mean we're not sitting here having $1 million conversations.
Right.
Why are we drinking? You know, if you got the right circle, you can see that can happen. You know what I
Right.
mean? And that will only encourage you. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get encouraged by constantly being around people who are not trying to do anything outside the box.
Right.
Keeps you comfortable.
So how do like say you redirect your friendships? Like you know this person, you got a lot of love for them, you want to do right by them by being their friend, but you
Right.
know you're going nowhere with this situation. How
Right.
do you do that?
For me personally, I found that if I was in that state of mind, that person probably really wasn't my friend.
Oh,
You know, like I was more of a friend to them than they was to me.
Okay.
You know, because like a lot of times we feel that somebody's our friend, but it's really, we're basing that because we feel that we're a friend to them. But
Okay.
they not really being a friend to you. Do you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know, so I think at a certain age, we just have to realize, okay, if we're friends, it doesn't mean I have to deal with you all the time. You know, it
Okay.
means we stay in touch. You know what I mean? Because I would rather be around people who may not be the close friend like the other person was, but these people are about, doing something.
On the same level.
Yeah, so when we get together, we talk about trying to achieve things, versus, with my friends, we're probably just going to get together and talk about friend stuff. You know what I mean? Not actually making moves.
And that's, to me, my personal opinion is once you get into redirecting your thoughts and you're really serious about it, and if you make a decision that people need to go in your life, you just make that cut.
Yeah, you do have to make the cut.
You just make the cut.
It's for your own good. Everybody's not a positive influence.
Well, she said it cut and dry.
She said it cut and dry. Just got to make that
just-
cut. Y'all heard what Miss Janice said.
Yeah, she said it.
Break out the scissors.
I mean, you just have to do it.
You do. You have to do it
You have
for
to do
your
it.
sanity.
Yes.
You have to do
Very
it for
true.
your progress, to relieve your stress. And it's hard to move forward with people who are supposed to be your friends, but yet they don't support you.
Right.
You know what I mean? See, other people would look at you and say, are they really your friend? Because aren't your friends supposed to support you? So anybody with me personally who, I thought was my friend or they thought we was friends, if they clearly showed that they don't support Black by the Man radio show, I can't consider them a friend.
Right.
Because my friends would support me.
Right.
True enough, true. But see, some of these friends, and excuse me, because this is a touchy subject for me. But some of these friends, they're like wolves in sheep's clothing because they portray the image as being your friend because you're the fun time. Because when you come around, the party's live,
Yes.
or the situation is better than it was when they were by themselves.
Right.
But in reality, if you are my friend, no matter if I'm willing to fail or to succeed, you should support me.
You should support me. You know what I mean? You should support me. You should be honest with me. You should be real with me.
And
And criticism should be done amongst the people who are talking about it, meaning the 2 people or the 3 people. It shouldn't be put on a place where you're basically ridiculing this person for show.
Right.
And that's where we all go wrong, is because if you dislike something I say, which is cool, pull me to the side, as an adult should.
As a friend.
Don't lash out as a child and make
Right.
fun of the situation that I might take dear to me.
right.
Nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody, not again, me, errors.
Right.
Sorry for y'all mistakes. I make errors. But end of the day is that I look for people who say they are my friends to understand that I'm going to step outside the box.
Right.
I'm going to fall, but if you're my friend, I expect you to, if not catch me, lift me up.
Absolutely. If they're a real friend. Go ahead. Miss
Absolutely.
Janice. You forgot what you was going to say.
No, I was going to say something with again, once you make the decision to redirect your thoughts or whatever it is you redirecting in your life, once you make that decision, you're going to see things differently anyhow. You're going to see things a whole lot more clear.
Right.
Things that you wasn't aware of before is going to become more known to you now.
Okay.
So even if you have friends that wasn't supportive, but before you started redirecting, you didn't know this.
Right.
It's going to become apparent to you that these people aren't your friends.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
And at that point,
I definitely agree.
and at that point, like you've already made a decision to redirect yourself. So at this point, you make the decision to leave these people behind.
Right.
Because at this point, you're redirecting yourself.
And
which
it's
means,
no animosity.
Yes, there isn't any.
She need to
You're
bell
not,
one more time.
You're not,
Yeah.
I'm on a different path now.
Right.
You've already shown to me that you're not getting aboard with me.
Hey.
There's no reason. We have no
real.
more connection
That's
here.
real. That's real.
So
I agree with you 100%,
either-
Mr. Denise.
because that person can only hurt you from here.
True.
This person is not going to be of help anymore.
No.
I got nothing.
So-
She said it all. I got nothing.
That's just
Yeah, it's cut and dry. She said
Yeah,
it all.
it is cut and dry. It's tough because it can also be people that we love, but the reality is, like I said, if I'm doing something and it's positive and then these so-called people are supposed to be my friends and not supporting it, I just can't view you as a friend because I believe a friend would support. You know what I mean? Like anybody that I'm friends with, if they're trying to do something with their life or do something positive, I'm going to support that. I'm not going to support you wanting to rob a bank, but I will support if you're trying to do something positive. And a lot of times you don't get the support from the people that's around you.
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't get that support.
Exactly. So
And it's hard for people to realize that, even like you said, even though they realize it. But that realization is now putting on them, I might have to cut this person off.
I mean, you just have to.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're serious about the change.
I agree.
If you're not serious about it, then at this point, you keep second guessing yourself. 1 minute you're ready to change, 1 minute you're not. But if you're ready to make that decision, make it.
Yeah,
Don't hesitate. Just
I think
do
we
it.
make excuses for people. Like we'll say, oh, well, he's still my friend, but he don't really support what I'm doing. Like if somebody else say, hey, does your boy support you? He come out like, no, he don't really support. But, we still friends. Like we justified for him.
I'm not.
And I just
I'm
reached the
not doing
stage as
it.
I matured in my life. I'm not doing that because I don't feel like I'm dealing with reality. If they don't support you, why would they not support you? They're your friend. And I have found that the least amount of support comes from family and friends.
Hey, I have people that I've asked several times before. Because, people have their Facebook friends. You have several friends on Facebook. You start a business. And let's just say you're selling T-shirts. And you have 1,200 friends on Facebook. Well, that should be at least 1,200 shirts sold.
Right.
Right.
Off
In
the
the
bat.
ideal world, right?
It should be. Otherwise, I don't understand why else is a person, why are they following you?
Yeah, why are they friends with you on Facebook?
What is this purpose? Like, why are they
don't support
continually
nothing.
your friend
And
if
don't
they're
support
not
nothing.
going to be there to be supportive?
Right.
That's the
Otherwise,
mystery.
Yeah, that is the mystery
well, see, that's something that
that you have to take in consideration.
I have to.
Right, yeah.
And that's 1,200 friends that will be deleted from my Facebook account.
Yeah, hey, trust me.
Because it's just that simple for me.
I've seen it.
I'm not making excuses for nobody.
I've had days where I looked at my Facebook friends and considered that. Like, you know what? Why are all these people on here friends with me? And I ain't never seen them support me on nothing, support BBD, hit the like button or none of that. People stay on your friends list to be nosy. Like, it's got to be a hell of a thing where you don't want to support somebody, but at the same time, you don't want to unfriend them because you don't want to miss what they're doing. But that's pretty much what people do.
Absolutely.
Like they stay friends with you even though they don't support nothing you do. So I didn't do it. But I had days of frustration when I considered doing that. But yeah, you know what I said? I said, you know what? I'm going to leave y'all so you can keep on seeing us move forward.
True enough. I had the other day, I put a meme up in my story where it says the guy, he's going over to his girl house. He had the gummy bears, but he put the melatonin in there.
Oh, I saw that.
Right. But did you see the views I had on that?
It was a lot.
It was 217.
See what I'm saying?
But when I put something out about Black by the Man or something that's educational,
Yeah.
3.
Yep.
5.
Yep.
7. We get
Sad,
odd numbers.
Yeah, right? We can't even get an even 10.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of crazy. And I looked at it the other day. I meant to call you, and I was like, wow, I was at 180 something.
Right.
And I looked, and I scrolled probably about a couple of minutes. I was at 217.
Right, right.
Wow.
Look, I'll tell you something on that. And this is just my perspective. Maybe I'm biased or whatever. You know, I'm not going to say it's facts. It's just what I've noticed, right? You know, like I remember they put up a post where it was saying, you know, I still have my same friends from 20 years ago. I bet y'all can't steal this, right? So everybody was on there like, oh, I still got my same friends. I still got my same friends. I'm just looking at it. I put this up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. And I had someone ask me about that, and this is my perspective. Within our communities, the background I come from, y'all come from.
Right.
If everybody still likes you, and everybody's still your friend, and everybody still associates with you, that means that they don't see you as being above them. They don't see that you did anything more than they did.
Right.
And they
Exactly.
actually still see you as being below them. That's why they still like you. The minute that you do one thing that's above what they do, say you just go back to school, start working on a degree, they not fooling with you no more. Okay?
Right.
They not fooling with you no more. So I'm saying the fact that you can say, you know, oh, everybody still loves me and likes me, I don't know. That may not always be as good as you think. It may be because they see themselves as being above you. Because my experience has been a lot of us, if we feel somebody has got more money, they're not fooling with you. If they got a bigger car, better house, or whatever, they're not fooling with you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely not.
And I got introduced to this when I was young, when cats wouldn't go to the mall with you if they didn't have money. Like I always went to the mall. If somebody said, yo, I'm going to go to the mall, get me some tennis today. You want to ride with me? Yeah, I'll ride with you. But I started noticing the only people that would go with you is people who had money to buy those tennis themselves. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
The ones who didn't, I ain't going with y'all, I'm chilling. They don't want to watch you shop. So it's the same in life. If you make $40,000 a year and then you jump up to making 120, but all your friends are still in the 40, 50 range, they not rocking with you. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
Nobody wants to watch you buy a Louis bag.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
That has been my experience, you know? So, hey, if everybody still loves you and likes you, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's good. I don't know what it does for you in life, though, because to me, that means they still think that they, you know what I mean? Because we're so competitive with each other.
Right.
You know, like Dr. Umar Johnson and Mr. Neeley Fuller said, you know, black people show off for black people. Like nobody's wearing a pair of Jordans because they think the Asian man gonna be like, oh, those are cool. You know?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So we competing with each other, showing off for each other. So that's why if one is able to flex a little harder than the others, they usually stop dealing with them.
Absolutely.
You
Well,
know?
then, with that being said, I have a question for you guys. Is it possible then to redirect your thoughts and your whole mindset and still keep everything the same? Can you keep the same friends? Like these were your friends in that mindset with those thoughts. So is it possible to change all of that
I personally don't
and
think it
then
is.
still have the same friends at the end of it?
My take is the only way that's possible is if your friends get involved and accept their position. So if Yogi is the man that's behind it, and then I say I'm with Yogi, I just deal with the videography. You get what I'm saying? My man P is with us. He deals with selling T-shirts. That's the only way it's going to happen. You get what I'm saying?
Wasn't part of becoming friends was because of that thought or mindset that I had that connected me to these people in the first place?
Probably.
And with me changing it,
Yeah,
like can
probably.
we all still be the friends? And
I don't think
that
I don't
was?
think you would keep them. I think that's
Okay.
where the cliche, it's lonely at the top, comes from.
Okay.
True.
And I think the reason why they came up with that cliche is because as you begin to try to move to the top of whatever it is you do, family and friends fall off. They don't come with you.
Okay.
Yeah, but the only thing I can, like, for us reader, I have a couple of friends that I can honestly say that are from 20 years ago. I can put you in it because I watched you evolve into something that is greater, and
Right.
I applauded it.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate that.
And I also have, and it's two of y'all. I can honestly say that because, and then it's my man Rad. Good, bad, or indifferent.
Right.
You know, when I first started this radio show, he was like, yeah, man, that's a good thing or whatever. But then he realized that I was not saying I'm not tooting my own horn, but I'm comfortable here.
Right.
And he respects us now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he wants better for me. And he might laugh and joke, but the sidebars was why he's a friend. Certain situation is why, just like with you, the sidebars. People fail to realize when you have a true friend, it's called a sidebar. You put them to the side and you tell them what it is, either they like it or they don't.
True.
It's something to correct their actions so you can be better in your growth.
Right.
Because we're not all perfect, but the people who are imperfect, who put on these airs on TV, on social media, like they are, is the ones hurting behind closed doors.
Sure.
So that's why if we redirect our thinking of our friends, we would cut a lot of them off, but there's some that hold value.
Yeah, you're lucky. You get one or two
Yes,
that'll
absolutely.
rock with you. So I'll flip it back. You know, you really should credit yourself. Like you said, you've watched me evolve, but it didn't make you dislike me.
Well, listen, I got to say this. You
get what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I'm the type of person, I ain't never had no hate in my heart.
Right.
To see a young black man come from where I come from.
Right.
And I'm going to keep it a whole 100 if you don't mind.
No, go for it.
You know what I'm saying? This the same guy, we out there, you know, we 16, 17 years old, drinking Ice House on the corner, blowing blunts and stuff like that.
Right.
Now I can sit across from him and say, we can talk about mathematics, we can talk about economics, we could talk about knowledge, we could talk about prosperity, we could talk about education, we could talk about anything outside of the drug game.
Right.
And for you to be able to do that, coming from listen, I've been out there I'll be 42. I touched them streets at 15 years old. And the only thing stopped me was prison.
Right.
And a lot of people might look at it like prison, oh man, listen, prison saved my life. Because if it didn't.
That's right, you might not be here.
And I want to say another thing. The weekend before I turned myself in, this brother I'm sitting over here with was in front of my house. So that's why I call him a friend. Not everybody was in front of my house, not this person or a big crowd. It was him and another mutual friend of a mutual friend.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Was in front of my house. And they stayed there every day till that Monday came, the whole weekend until they wished me off to go.
Right. Right.
So that's what I can consider him my friend. Way before like all this, the BBD and stuff like that, he was already my friend.
Right.
Same with Rad.
That,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so I've seen everybody.
Yeah.
These are the friends I said that evolved. That's why I still rock with. It's just true.
Sure. Yeah, and again, you know, big up to yourself, brother, because like I said, that formula of watching someone else evolve equals to a lot of people not fooling with them no more. Like
True.
You're not the only one that was around.
Absolutely.
A bunch of other people that was around, but they don't fool with me because I've evolved into something else as a grown man, and they don't really like it. You know what I'm saying? They don't really like it, and that's what I'm saying. They don't come with you. You know what I mean?
Well, why can't we do this? And I'm going to be brief with it. Redirect how the situation, how they fell victim, not us.
Right.
We're growing forward.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
They're
That's what I'm
stagnant
saying.
backwards.
Right,
Yes.
right. But, you know, in my particular case, I'm still talking about the things I was talking about back then. And a lot of people didn't like it.
Right.
Okay, so I'm still doing it. That's a lot of people who do like it, right? So they feeling a certain way. Do you get what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's hard to, you know, talk when you got humble pie in your mouth, you know, because this is what you use to point on me that, you know, man, he always talking about this and think he know that, this, that, and the third. And then now, you know, you kind of eating humble pie, you know, so they quiet. It's there you go. Crickets in the room. But, you know, we ain't going to keep going down the personal train. But, so big up to yourself, man, for being able to not only still be around, but then to want to get involved.
Yeah, because like I said, the thing is that, you know, when this is a good show, and I want y'all to understand this because listen, I've been here, listen, I'm going to throw my age out there. You know what I'm saying?
But I've been here for years.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
Long time.
I didn't seen, in my era, I didn't seen so many failed friendships. I didn't seen so many different platforms, like saying from the streets to this place and that place. And it's like now, when will we break the cycle? It's 2020. I remember writing letters or filling out information for jobs and stuff. It said 1993 or 1995.
Right.
It's 2020. Do y'all understand that?
Hey.
Right.
They watching life go by.
You
Man.
know what I'm saying? So in 2020, we should be able to redirect ourselves in a way that is understood, because a lot of us have children and we still hold on to negativity from stuff 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
And we pass on that negative vibe to our children.
Yes.
We let our children see that you could be negative for 20 years.
And it's okay.
You in a grocery store, you see somebody, Daddy, why he look at you like that?
Right.
I don't know,
I don't
son.
fool with him, son.
You know what I'm saying? So but see me, I'm so polite, and I would tell my son to say, hey, how you doing?
Right.
How you doing, sir?
Right.
Because I'm going to teach my son different.
Absolutely.
Now, mind you, sir, if you disrespect my son, it's going to be the problem in that grocery store.
We gonna have
just keeping it a whole 100. What hate you have for me is cool, but if my son, I'm teaching him to be a nice young man to respect his elders and to show respect.
Absolutely,
so it's a difference,
brother. Absolutely, it is a difference. So yeah, that's what's up. So as you can see, we passionate about these things we talk about. We all relate to it with our personal experiences. But let's keep it moving. Okay, so another good way to redirect your thoughts is to read books. Read books. I can't stress it enough. All the secrets in the books. So again, I don't have the book in front of me, and I apologize. But you want to check out Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Click on the description to this video. There will be a link down there that'll take you straight to Amazon. You can get it. It's like less than $20.
Oh, okay.
And it's a book that'll change your life. But yeah, reading books.
Yes, reading books is definitely going to help in changing that mindset, thoughts. And you're going to get so much from books.
You are. At a minimum, you're going to get an increased comprehension level.
You're going to learn something.
You're going to learn something. So comprehension deals with, you know how people say, when I read something, I have to read it 2-3 more times before I understand it.
Right.
That's pretty normal. You know what I mean? Like a lot of us go through that. But as you continue to read, your comprehension will get better, because that's what that is. You're not comprehending what you actually read, but as you continue to read, your comprehension levels increase. So even if you're reading a newspaper every week, like now the older folks read a newspaper,
Yes.
their comprehension level's higher than what you think, because they
Absolutely.
read every week. I personally specialize in reading self-improvement books. That's
Okay.
my thing. That's why I'm working on trying to bring more books forward, like Think and Grow Rich. And again, I'll put the link in the description, because these books teach you how to think differently.
Right.
This is how you redirect your thoughts. If you don't have someone who can directly teach you, which most of us don't,
Right.
there's plenty of books out here. So read some books.
That was my answer, because if you're thinking about changing anything, one of the first things you're going to need is some type of direction.
Some type of direction.
So reading books can only help you with that direction. So
That's right.
definitely.
That's right. All right, so on to the next one. That's our last one for redirecting thoughts. Change what you watch on television.
Yes.
Ooh, change what you watch on television. Now, I got a personal story on this. You guys have heard me talk about Dr. Joe Furman. He was one of the first people I learned about nutrition from, and how food is bad for us and this, that, and the third. Well, I first seen him on PBS. Like, who watches PBS other than me? It's the public broadcasting channel. You know what I mean? But he was on there, and he had a program where he was selling the DVDs and telling you about how nutrition can save your life through sickness and all that good stuff. And he was emphasizing to us and saying, listen, I'm paying for this out my pocket.
Right.
Primetime television would not let me put this on here, so I had to go to PBS and pay for this. So he was asking people for donations. He's like, so
Right.
please send a donation so we can keep that going. Speaking of which, if you ever want to donate to the Black by the Man radio show so we can keep it going, make sure you check us out and become a patron at patreon.com/BrotherMikeBBD. Or if you just want to donate through PayPal, you can donate at Black by the Man for You. That's the number 4 and the letter U at gmail.com. We'll make sure it's on the screen. Black by the Man for You at Gmail. But yeah, so I watch PBS, and that's how I seen him.
I used to watch PBS a lot. That's where I first caught Tavis Smiley.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about.
You really about PBS. Tavis Smiley was there for a long time.
Education.
Right.
Nice. It's kind of funny how we don't watch PBS, right? But if you remember when you was a kid, when they rolled that TV in that classroom, you put on that PBS channel, that was the best day in school.
Ever.
Right? And then we grow up and be like, I ain't watching no damn PBS. Like, boy, PBS was my stuff.
Right.
You know?
See, if you get put in a situation like me, where I was at for those many years,
right,
we only had 3 channels.
Hey.
We had ABC, CBS, and PBS.
PBS, that's it. Learn something.
I can remember the cartoons came on 4 o'clock, 4:30.
I'm trying to tell you, brother.
It was an Irish show came on 5. Listen, I can tell you.
That's what's up, brother. So yeah, read books. That's another way to redirect your thoughts. You cannot stay at the same intellectual level if you read books. It's impossible. You're going to become more intelligent. You're going to become more articulate. You're going to learn leverage. You're going to learn secrets, and you're going to learn how to achieve things. And I'm telling you, one of the best books to do that is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Make sure you click the description. There will be a link there for you to get that book. Right. If you don't ever buy any other book in life, please buy Think and Grow Rich. Yeah, get that one. I'm so sorry I left the book, but that's all right. All you need is the link. You'll see what the book looks like. Yes. I'll put the link with this video. All right, so let's move on to the next one. So next we're talking about actions. So actions deal with us redirecting. How can we redirect our actions? Any suggestions?
Well, I think it's kind of like what Dirk said at the beginning when he said, take a different approach on things.
Okay.
So,
but how do you, listen, forgive me, like, I might have the remedy, but I also need help too.
Sure. That's what we here for, brother.
You know
That's
what I'm saying? The approach sounds good, but do you have the antagonizers?
Okay.
So whenever you walked in a room, you see a person, you go left real fast because they're going to figure some way out to drive you up the wall.
Yeah, okay.
So how do you it's like you have a job and this person drives you crazy. Mm-hmm. How are you able to to ignore the situation or to become, like, sometimes I become numb, just whatever they said is whatever.
Right.
I'm paying no mind.
Yeah, that's a tough situation
because you're locked in a situation,
work, right? Yeah.
Right. So it's everyday things that you have to deal with individual people that you don't want to, but you have to. How do you tell a person to redirect that energy or to get away from that situation?
Right.
But it should help. It should help with going through the process, because if you're already in the process of changing your thoughts in your mind, you're not thinking the same way you used to. So you're going to approach the situation differently anyway, because you're not even thinking the same. You're thinking differently now. So your different mindset is going to take you to a different approach.
That's a good answer.
Well, all right.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
I got it now.
Yeah, right? So, we can start paying closer attention to our actions.
Okay.
So let's see. What would be a good example of that? First, I would say work on learning a particular rule that deals with action. So this is what it is. They say life is 10% what happens to you and then 90% reaction.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
90% reaction. Mm-hmm. So even having that understanding is the first step into understanding your actions.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I had to learn some of these lessons the hard way. You know what I mean? Like, I had court situations, and I remember I was talking to this one particular guy that was involved with the case, and I'm like, nah, man, they doing me wrong. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I didn't do this, I didn't do that, and he was just listening to me, and then he just gave me the worst news ever. He was just like, Mike, I'm not saying that they didn't do you wrong.
Right.
And I'm not saying that you're lying. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is, had you never reacted, you wouldn't have been put in this position for these people to do you wrong.
Absolutely.
I said, man, get out my face.
You're wrong.
Yeah. It was a tough pill to swallow, right?
Yes.
But I took that lesson because I never seen it that way. I was just strictly looking at what happened to me. They did me wrong, this, that, and the third. But he was like, yeah, but if you wouldn't have never engaged,
right, mm-hmm,
you put yourself in a position for people to screw you over. And that's what they doing. He's like, so deal with it. Come on, have a seat. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Grown man, right? I'm young boy, but I'm probably in mid-20s, late 20s.
But mentally.
And he schooled me, mentally. He schooled me like, you don't understand what's going on.
I'm going to take that, man.
Yeah, I get what they did to you. They did you wrong. But I'm saying you turned yourself over to them.
I never looked at that like for as like, if I don't use that 10%, in a situation where I know the outcome will come bad, I can walk away from it.
Yeah, because it's the 90 that deals with the reaction.
Okay.
The 10% represents what happened to you, what somebody did to you, what somebody said to you, what somebody took from you. Mm-hmm. That's the 10%. The 90% is what you do after that. And it always got me in trouble.
Hey, y'all ever watch any movies before when you're watching a movie and you see the whole scene play out, and then after a while you see that it was just that person thinking of all of that.
Oh, that's a good example.
This could have been the outcome.
Yeah.
Right.
So in real life, we can also take that, think it, play it out in our heads and see, like, this could be the outcome if I was to react.
Miss Janice, you
this
on
way.
fire?
Yes, she
Because
is.
So-
Yes,
Let me
she
tell you,
is.
that was the next one, and the next one is think of possible outcomes before you take action. So that's what you're talking about. They're
Yes.
showing these outcomes,
Yes.
and we're looking at it like, oh, why did he do that? That was
Right.
stupid. And then it goes back to him. You like, oh, he
Right,
didn't do it.
exactly.
Yeah, those
Yeah,
are horrible
yeah.
bosses when he punched his boss in the face. The next thing it goes back to him like, what did you say? Oh, I didn't say anything.
Right.
No, not me.
I didn't say
anything. This is what he wanted to
Exactly.
do.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
So-
So,
Good
so
answer.
really good point. Really good point. Yeah. So think of possible outcomes before you take actions. And again, like Brother Derek said, we're not pretending to be the experts with this. You know, again, every time we go over this information, this helps keep us in track too. So yeah, think of possible outcomes. Take responsibility for your actions. You know, and that's what that guy made me do. You know, like
Definitely.
yeah, because my mindset was I wouldn't be here. You know, if dude didn't
Right,
do
if
this,
he didn't
do
that,
this.
right?
Oh, it's
You know,
his
they did
fault.
me wrong, you know. And he's
Right.
like, yeah, but you shouldn't have did anything. You know, like that's what
Right.
got you here. You know,
Right.
he pulled over and you pulled over. You could have kept driving.
Right. And nobody wants to admit that they're wrong.
No,
Nobody.
no. I mean, for me, it wasn't even admitting that I was wrong because I didn't even know I was wrong. See, to not admit that you're wrong, you have to know that you're wrong.
Oh, okay.
He had to teach me that I was wrong.
Oh,
You know what
wow.
I'm saying? Before I
Right.
could admit, like, oh, yeah, I guess I did do that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
even see the wrongdoing. I'm like, they screwed me over. They
Right.
did me wrong. You know what I'm saying?
I
He's
was
like,
set
yeah,
up.
but you came here so they could do that to you.
Absolutely.
I said, okay, bye.
You're fired.
You're fired. Get out of here.
Yeah.
All right, so the last one for redirecting your actions, and I think this is the biggest one. Make sure your actions support your mission and your goals.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I think that's a big one because it's not always easy to remember that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Especially if somebody so-called push your buttons. Oh, speaking of which, that's another thing he taught me. I wasn't aware of this. He got to talking about pushing your buttons. You know what I mean? How people push your buttons. He's like, and you know, we all say, you know, well, she pushed my buttons or he pushed my buttons. He said, let me tell you something. He said, nobody can push your buttons.
Right.
He said, what they do is convince you to push your own button.
Oh,
He said,
wow.
because think about it. They don't know where your buttons is at.
Right.
He said, but they can convince you to push your button. He said,
Absolutely.
and you know when you're going to find out that you was the one who pushed your button? When you in court. Because the person that you said pushed him will not be there.
Wow.
It's going to be
Don't
you in court.
Don't you just love lessons?
And I'm telling you, he taught me some things, you know what I mean? And I was just like, I'm tired of talking to you.
Right.
You're
You're
basically
like, man.
telling me I'm responsible for everything, you know?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so that's a little something to put out there. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Because I've heard people present day be like, you know, she was pushing my buttons. And I don't say nothing, but I'm thinking, nah, she convinced you to push your own.
Yeah, because you are the one who reacted. They're just saying what they want to say now.
90%.
Yeah, I'm
That's deep, ain't it?
I'm
We
gonna
can-
start using that.
Yeah.
We can also go over something that we went over in the first show we did this year when we said, ask yourself, is this even going to be relevant in 5 years?
Ooh, in 5 years, I remember that. Yeah,
yeah.
good point. Hey, is this going to be relevant in 5 years?
Yeah, you know, but see, that's it. We're gonna say Miss Janice been going off today.
Janice is on fire
She's
today.
been on fire today. Like
She's
she's
on
answered like
fire.
5-6 of my questions in one speech.
It's 2020, y'all. It's 2020.
But the only thing is that I have to say, and I tell all people, the 5 minutes that happens in can change your life.
It can change your life.
Bob, we're talking about this, and this is for me personally. I don't react a lot of times, but the times I do react is because I let myself go. So most of us, you know, we have self-control. It's just that one day that all the chips fall, you having a bad day, everything ain't going your right. You got up this morning, stubbed your toe. You know what I mean? You left your wallet in the house. Everything just going wrong. And
Right.
it's always a booger that comes out of left field.
Come and try to push them
Now,
buttons.
how do you react to that? Because you get up, you drop your toothbrush in the toilet.
Right.
You did everything under the sun. You dropped your fork on the floor from your plate. You was eating breakfast. Everything is going wrong.
Right.
How do you redirect that negative energy to keep you positive for the day?
But you know what? This is also a reason why we do these shows. It's not just for
that.
our audience.
True that.
It's for us too.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Because we know in life we're going to come across these situations
Yeah.
just as much as our audience. So we go over these shows too to reiterate to ourselves too how to handle these situations when we come across them, so that we can be ready for that day. So that we can be ready for that bad day.
Man.
This is something like, hey, we just did a show on this, so I'm ready, I'm prepared. So it also helps us.
Yeah, all the time. So, top of the head, though, to answer your question, I'm not an expert at this, but I have tried it. It does work. Walk away. Like just decompress for 5 minutes. Like, you know what? Let me just walk outside and just walk before I throw this damn TV through the window. Just go walk outside. Because that rage starts building up. You ready to just grab something and throw it. So I tried it. You know what I mean? Like I've been in where I was upset and I was like, you know what? Let me just go outside. And I went outside, started walking, and I'm pissed off. I just kept walking. And then next thing you know, I'm looking at the neighbor's dog. Like, I didn't know they had a pit bull. It's crazy. Where all these birds come from out here? I ain't never even seen these. The birds is pooping on my car. Like, my mind let that crap go immediately. And then I came back in like, they like, you good? Oh, no, I'm great. I'm great. Yeah, before I left, I was about to kill one of y'all. But, I took it outside, and I'm good. So that's something you could try.
Yeah. And these days, after everything that we've learned in life, these days, we already know, we can see, like, life isn't passing out second chances like they used to. So we have to
very good point.
React differently pretty much to everything. And we have to learn to take a different
those both remedies
approach.
Was dope, and I hope y'all pay attention to them.
Yeah,
both of those remedies was dope. But my only thing is that, again, I'm very honest. I don't like the people get out there and say, "Oh, not me." Oh, that can be, because it can be.
What?
The difference is a lot of us are wearing two faces.
Yeah,
because the face that we're wearing act like we're okay.
Right.
Yeah, true.
And we're not.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And so if I come around y'all and I smile, hey Janice, how you doing? Hey bro, Mike, how you doing? Da da da. Don't mean that's how I'm feeling.
Right.
I'm playing the number game. You see the 7 looks like a smile whole time. I'm a 3.
Right. You're bringing the right energy, even though you're not really feeling it.
So when you're in a situation where there's more players playing your kindness or weakness that you let people know.
Right.
And that one day, it's just that one person who doesn't mean to harm you.
Right.
They just got caught in a crossfire.
Right.
Because that rage sometimes is uncontrollable.
Yes.
Yeah, it can. It can
And then
get you.
And then a couple of minutes, that person comes out of left field, says something out of the ordinary, and you go off.
Right.
That person didn't deserve that, but it's hard for you to stop.
Sure.
So that's the remedy. I'm like, both of your remedies was dope.
Right.
And this is a personal thing for me. And I want everybody to understand that I'm bigger than, I always like to say this, because a lot of people get out here and want to promote themselves that they got all the answers. I do not.
Yeah, we definitely don't either. You know what I mean?
So I'm asking my counterparts for help. So if I can ask them for help, please do the same in the comments.
Yeah.
Like the situation, subscribe, find a remedy so you don't end up in a situation like I can.
Sure. Tell us what you do.
Yeah.
Right. So
in the
I'm
comments,
asking.
tell us. The audience should tell us what y'all do when y'all in situations where you about to erupt and you feel like someone's pushed your buttons. Notice I said you feel like. But I know walking away is one of them. My first experiences of getting better with this was when I was a little younger, and when people would cut me off, the whole road rage thing, and, they cut you off and then they give you the finger. When I started being able to not react to that, I knew I was growing. Brother, let me tell you, I've chased people down in court charges. You understand what I'm saying? Behind somebody giving me the finger after almost killing me, because that's what makes you mad. You feel like they just endangered your life.
Right.
And instead of them being like, oh, sorry about that, they like, F you. And you just like, you know what? Like, I'm going to go get them, right? So when I reached the point where I would look at that and say, I'm going to work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm going to work, right? I had to start doing something. It still wasn't enough. So I started giving them the Queen's wave. You understand what I mean? So when they would do it, I look at them do like this.
Right.
Right? Bruh, it was pissing them off. Next thing I know, they chasing me.
Wow.
It would piss them off. And it made me realize, okay, they need me to react. And when I don't react with that anger and throw them back something nice, it pisses them off more. Oh, they should never let me see that. I'm nice to everybody now. Every time somebody do something, hey, how you doing? You know what I mean? They all that, and I'm just like waving my hand, going about my business. So for me, that was my proof that I was growing. You know what I mean? Because that used to be one of my pet peeves. Like you almost killed me, and then you gonna give me the finger?
Right.
I'm following you to Royal Farms. Coming up in there.
Give you a soda and cook you on the way out.
I'm coming in there. I'm going to buy a soda and crack you in your head with it.
So basically because I'm not an angry person.
Right.
I'm not. And I'm not a tough guy or whatever. But I was basically saying that because every day ain't a good day. So therefore, I don't want to take my negative energy, especially coming into 2020, when I'm trying to grow and be positive, you know what I'm saying, on this different outlook. So I'm trying to find a remedy where that I can, like I said, come into it where the person who doesn't mean any harm, the people who do deserve this, you know what I'm saying, they still don't, but they need a reality check. But the person who falls victim shouldn't take this. I'm trying to find a way out for them because the person who deserves it, look, you won't get 5 minutes from me.
Right.
But it might not be in the way you think it is where it's disrespectful. It's basically I'm checking you for your actions.
Right.
But I'm trying to redirect my thinking on the person who does not deserve it.
Right.
But you know what? Again, that's the reason we do these shows, because we make people aware of this could be a victim falling short to somebody on the other side who watched the show.
Right.
And just that moment when you are about to take off, they could be like, look, calm down. It's not that, I didn't mean it that way. Like maybe they can help, what is it? Diffuse.
Diffuse. That's a good word.
Maybe they can help diffuse it that moment.
So
that's why it's important to watch these shows. I mean, Black Bottom Man Radio.
That's right.
Show is giving good
Please subscribe.
information. Like we're giving you real information, stuff that you will be able to use in everyday life.
Absolutely.
So that's the reason we try to put this out.
Well, I got my couch time to y'all. My couch time today, y'all.
Yeah. We had a little therapy.
Listen, I got my couch time today. You best believe me.
Because this just information that everybody should know. Like,
absolutely,
in this world, we all have to learn to change and redirect our thoughts and the way we do things.
You want to get better?
That's how we all going to get better.
Yep, that's how you're going to grow.
Everybody has to learn something. So,
I'll tell you another one of my tricks. I stopped valuing people's thoughts.
Oh,
when you can get to that level, it's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? Like, I stopped valuing people's thoughts. It doesn't mean I still didn't dislike what they said or whatever, but I just simply looked at it like, why am I going to let this person's words alter my energy level, right? When they really are of no value to me other than the fact that we know each other. And what I mean is they don't help me achieve anything.
True.
They don't change numbers on my paycheck. They don't support what I do. Why am I mad that this person said something crazy about me?
Right.
You get what I mean? So I started getting to that level too. I think that's the second level, but, those are some of the things I do. Now, the irony to that is when you do that, then they're mad at you about that.
Absolutely.
Then they go say, he just always act like he don't care. Well, when he cared, you know what I mean? Y'all was purposely, you know what I mean, doing things to get him upset because you knew he cared.
Right.
Now he doesn't care.
He's still angry.
You're still angry. You're still mad.
Yeah, and I get that. Like I said, me and you talking, I had a certain situation where I basically ignored it.
Yeah.
Took the high road.
That's it.
But like I said, taking the high road on someone who is, I'm trying to use the word without being disrespectful, doesn't have no relevance in your life. They are a friend because you allow them to be a friend. But like I said, Janice summed it up and so did you. I just don't want to take my negativity out on a person who does not deserve it.
Sure.
That's all. I want to redirect my anger.
Yeah.
Not so much my anger, but redirect if I'm going through something, that person who is sincere, who wants to help me, wants to do things for me, I shouldn't be negative to that person. That's what I'm trying to redirect.
Yeah, I think the only way to do that is just to learn to redirect completely. Right. So that way you're not going off on the person who deserved it, did it on purpose, and you're also not going off on the person who didn't do it on purpose, but it still upsets you.
Okay, got you.
You get what I mean?
Got you.
You just got to go even plane and I don't react to nobody. Like I feel disappointed in myself when someone gets me to react, because if someone gets me to react over some nonsense, I feel that I'm sending them the wrong message. And that message is that I care about what they think.
Gotcha.
And I shouldn't. And I really don't. You know, but that's what anger is born out of. Nobody can hurt you more than the people that you love. You understand what I mean? If a stranger, if somebody gets on the internet and makes a comment about you and you don't know the person, you just like, who cares? You know what I mean? But you actually have to take that approach with the people, you know what I mean, that, you know, you might feel that you care about. You know what I mean? Like, I almost feel embarrassed that I let my guard down and let this person get me upset because now they're thinking I value, you know, what they say, you know what I mean? And my reactions of anger kind of showed that I must value it at some level because I'm upset, you know? So I stopped caring about what people think. And it's a bit of freedom in it, you know what I mean? Because those who really love you, they'll begin to respect it because they see you just really ain't.
Growth.
Yeah, you ain't about that drama no more, right?
Yes.
You know, they come to you with some nonsense. Well, such and such was saying that you was there and you just like, listen, I wasn't there, but do you still want to go get something to eat?
Right.
Right.
You know, like
Diffuse the situation.
Yeah, diffuse the situation. So you kind of got to stop caring sometimes. So that's a route you can take too.
Listen, I got a bunch of routes today, and I'm gonna implement them.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
I also learned a lesson from a coworker one time. One time I remember at work, I was so upset with a young lady because she called out. When I seen it the next day, I kind of let her know how upset I was.
Right.
She looked at me and she said, I don't know what she was going through yesterday. She could have came in here yesterday and took that out on everybody.
Oh, okay.
But
I
she
got
didn't.
you. Yeah, yeah.
She called out. When she told me that, like, I felt so crazy.
Right.
Oh, that stayed with me the rest of my life.
Took all the fight out.
Right.
Where was you at yesterday? You don't know what I was going through. My man tried to kill me.
It
Right.
stayed with me for the rest of my
sorry.
life.
That
That now,
You okay? I'm
Right.
sorry. You
I
okay?
am not quick to jump to anything. So,
Yeah, well,
like,
big up to her for not wanting to bring that energy to work.
exactly.
Yeah, nice.
Right.
That's a great
So-
example.
Listen.
That's the best way to call out right there.
Right.
Come work
mean-
next day, like, listen, I know I called out, but y'all don't know if I'd have came here.
Not right now. Not right
I might have
now.
cut two of
Not
y'all.
right now.
killed you
Right, yeah, I
yesterday.
might have cut two of
Right.
y'all. So I
I
ain't
saved your
come.
life.
Yeah. Could have went down.
Could have
Right.
went down.
Hey, that's what she told me.
Matter of fact, you want to go home today?
Right, you know, you all right today? You need half a day?
Listen,
You know?
lunch on me, early
know what I
break. Listen.
So that's a great example of like what you were saying, the person who's not intending to upset you. She
Exactly.
wasn't intending to upset Janice by calling out.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and
Bigger
thank God,
picture.
yeah, you know, Janice didn't wild out. Yeah, so that was a good example. Because you don't know what's going on in people's lives.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's the
You
two
just don't.
faces. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying?
I'll tell you, I didn't understand this back then when older folks would say this. But I remember hearing older folks say someone cussed them out or something like that, right? And they walk away and be like, I ain't worried about him. He mad at somebody, but it ain't me.
Right.
I'm going about my business.
Yes.
Right.
That's what they meant with that.
Yes.
You taking it out on me. You
Right.
know what I mean? You not mad at me. You know what I mean?
Right.
You taking it out on me. So she had enough sense to do what we spoke on previous, which was think about the actions.
She thought about it ahead of time.
Yeah, before you take
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
I'm no
Absolutely.
good. I'm no good to in there. I'm no good. I'm
Right.
in my feelings, my emotions, and I'm gonna curse somebody out and
Right.
lose
Right.
my job.
I'd rather take the point than come in here and lose my job,
Exactly.
catch a charge, and end up in court. And yeah, that's deep. That's
Yeah.
deep.
So when she told me, I got it immediately. Like,
Right.
I got it.
Right. Yeah. Nice. Very nice. Very nice. All right. So let's move on to the last one of redirecting thoughts, actions. We are now on focus. All right, focus. How can we gain more focus in our life? Any suggestions on what we could do just off the top of your head?
Meditate.
Meditate. Hey, that's how powerful meditation.
Right.
It can fit in several different categories. That's a good answer though. Meditate. Yeah, meditate will definitely help you with focus. Something simple you can do is do not focus on the things that you don't want because you're going to bring that into your life.
Okay.
You know, don't tase me, bro. Don't tase me, bro. Bro, don't take.
Right.
Y'all remember that video? See what I'm saying? But the more he kept telling that cop, "Don't tase me," the more energy he was putting into that cop. Like, oh, stop saying that. Don't tase me, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know, so you have to not focus on the things that you don't want because that's the signal that you're sending into the air. And I'll reiterate the signal with the universe, right? So the universe deals with frequencies. As human beings, we all emit frequencies. Now, one of the ways we know this is if you take a look at how a radio station operates. So when you're in your car and you playing music, that music is being transmitted from the radio station into your car through antennas. The car has an antenna. The radio station has an antenna. It's riding frequencies in the air, but yet we don't see those frequencies and we don't hear it. Nobody walking hears the music coming across the airways, but yet everybody in their car can hear it. So that's proof that sound can travel on frequency, right? So it's the same with us with the universe. Every thought that we have emits a frequency. That frequency rises through the air and the universe picks it up on its antenna. The universe does not discriminate. It doesn't know black. It doesn't know white. It doesn't know right. It doesn't know wrong. All it knows is that it sends back the frequency that you sent to it. So if the frequency that you're putting out there is "don't tase me, dude," it's going to send back "tase me, dude."
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, so it's frequency. So with that being said, you're not supposed to focus on what you don't want. You know, like I know I've been in situations before where I'm thinking like, oh, please don't call me. Please don't call me. Call somebody else first. Don't call me.
I hate that.
And they be like, Michael Harrison.
Right.
Oh, come on. You know what I mean? I didn't know that I did that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I did that. You know, that's the law of attraction. That's the rules of law of attraction. So yeah, don't focus on what you don't want.
Okay.
Priorities deal with focus. Put yourself first.
Right.
Put yourself first. Remember, we
Yes.
talked about you have to develop a little bit of selfishness to achieve the things you want to achieve, because being a people pleaser is not good.
Yeah,
Right.
Absolutely.
We did a show on why not to be a people pleaser, which we're going to do that show again with more updated information, but it will hold you back in life. So under focus, right? Now, this was taken out of Mr. Neeley Fuller's book. He's got a book called The Compensatory Code, right?
Okay.
And I will also put that link in the description because that's another great book to get, right? But in his book, he says, you know, your focus deals with you learning the 9 areas of activity.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this is the 9 areas of activity: economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. He says everything that you do in your life fits into one of those areas of activity. And he said the one area that everyone is spending too much time on is sex.
That's what I was over here saying in my mind. It's going to be sex.
Mr. Fuller said, listen, he said, I know the act of sex is only going to last a short few minutes. So it might only been 5 minutes. He said, but you worked on it for 38 days to get that 5 minutes in.
Right.
He said, you're spending too much of your time and energy and focusing on sex. You know, like that was deep. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Right.
man, Mr. Fuller is deep. Yeah, but that's what he said. He said sex prevents us from focusing our energy on our goals.
Okay.
He said you
Okay.
would be surprised how much energy and thought and effort that we as human beings put towards having sex with another human being.
Absolutely.
You know, and as a man, you know, I'm like, yeah, I guess he got a point with that one.
Yes,
you
he
know?
does, because it makes perfect sense, especially if you whining and dining, going places, going out to eat, doing this and doing that. You're preparing for this moment, but the time and effort you put into it,
It's a lot.
Putting
It's a
that in
lot.
your business.
It's a lot.
she got the 90-day rule.
You're laying it on thick today. I'm
That's
sorry, yo.
That's 3 months.
That's it.
Then
That's
she
it.
talk about the next time 6 months. She like,
Yep.
wait a minute, man, I'm about to go to politics.
Yep. So look, so number 2 that he said we spending too much time on is entertainment.
Absolutely.
Yep. So that one, of course, we know that one, right? So he said the second one that we spend too much time on is entertainment. He said you're spending too much time entertainment. Now, I'm going to quote what he said, right? It makes me laugh every time I think about it. But hey, Mr. Fuller's 80-something years old. He's actually still alive. He's in the D.C. area. You know, you can catch him on YouTube. He does radio stations. But Mr. Fuller said, he was like, within our community, he said all this entertainment. He said black people are consistently out celebrating failure. I said, ooh, Mr. Fuller. He said, think about it. He said, there's nothing about your life where you should be celebrating every weekend. He said, you're the most oppressed people in the United States. You're the poorest. You have the highest rate of being on drugs and single parent homes, all this negative stuff. Mr. Fuller said, what the hell are you celebrating? What are you seeing that I'm not seeing?
Mr. Fuller.
Right.
I said, oh boy, Mr. Fuller is deep. So again, I'm going to put his book in the description as well. I'll put a link. I call it the Compensatory Code, but the actual name is the United Independent Compensatory Code / System Concept. Now you see why I just call it the Compensatory Code, right?
Right.
But I will put that link in there as well. All right, so the third area that he said is making us lose focus on the things we want to achieve in life is religion. I said, wow, religion. Mr. Fuller said, y'all spend too much time at church. Mm-hmm. God asked for one day. He did not ask for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. He said he didn't ask for that. He said you're being caught up in a system of religion that is taking your time away from you when you could be working on your life. He said, so instead of working on your life, you're in there praying to God to give you a life. He said, it don't work that way.
Right.
You got to go get it. So again, this is Mr. Fuller's words, not mine. Don't shoot the messenger, But yeah, so he said the third one was religion. He said black people spend too much time on their knees trying to pray for something instead of working hard to get it.
I like Mr. Fuller.
Mr. Fuller deep, baby. Mr. Fuller been around a long time. Yeah. I'll give a little background. A lot of people are familiar with Dr. Frances Welsing before she passed away. But what they don't know is Mr. Fuller was her mentor. And she gave all the credit for the things that she learned from Mr. Fuller. Okay. Now, she's got a dope book called The ISIS Papers, but we'll talk about that one another time. That book it's interesting. You familiar with that book?
No, sir.
Yeah, The ISIS Papers. It's deep. So anyway, so those are the things that we can work on to improve our focus. We can take notice of not focusing on the things we don't want, and then start learning about areas of activity.
Yes.
Right. And the easy way to learn about the area of activities is to get Mr. Fuller's book, The United Independent Compensatory Code System Concept, and I will put a link in the description for that book as well. These are both great books, Think and Grow Rich, Compensatory Code, and they both will help redirect your thoughts, actions, and focus for 2020.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Nice.
So it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
That's it. How'd y'all feel about this show?
This show was awesome.
Show was rocking. Show was rocking. I had fun with it. You know what I mean?
I got some free therapy.
Yeah, right. It's very therapeutic.
Got my couch time.
Right,
got a new outlook on redirecting my thoughts. Man, it paid out for me.
Right, no doubt, right? So that's what's up. All right, well, we're going to wrap it up, y'all. It's been another exciting episode of the Black by the Man radio show. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Black by the Man channel on YouTube, and make sure you go to blackbytheman.com and check out our latest apparel. And again, if you would like to participate in donating, you can donate through PayPal at blackbytheman, the number 4, the letter U at gmail.com. Or you can become a patron at patreon.com/brothermikebbd, where you can donate as little as $1 per month to help us out. And again, 2 great books today, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and The Compensatory Code by Mr. Neeley Fuller. Both will have links in the description. So on behalf of the Black by the Man radio team and my co-host, the lovely Miss Janice, and my main man, Derek Woodson, I'm your boy, Brother Mike. You know what it is. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace. Word up. Awesome show, yo.
This is great.
And we out.